Joining us right now with some advice on how Congress can come together on this is former U.S. Senator Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota. She is the director of the University of Chicago's Institute of Politics and a CNBC contributor, and former U.S. Senator Judd Gregg, who represented New Hampshire as both senator and governor. And senators, welcome to both of you. Senator Gregg, let's start with you on this, just because we have had some talks about this. Things are getting heated up. Things are looking pretty complicated. Is there a way for us to get things resolved to not put the nation in some sort of stress over whether or not we're going to pay our bills?
Of course there is. It's a very simple way. The two sides sit down and they reach an agreement, which is what historically has happened and should happen now. Unfortunately, this is a turn from substance to politics. I think the White House, and you saw Dick Durbin this weekend, basically believe that pushing it to the brink is something that actually works in their favor. They're thinking of the Gingrich period, where basically Gingrich self-immolated with the House Republicans when they shut the government down, and they see that as a plus politically. And then you've got House Republicans who really are so hardcore that they probably don't mind looking at a default, which is, of course, extraordinarily damaging to our economy and to our nation's reputation internationally and to the value of the currency. So it's politics now, not substance. Hopefully they'll switch to substance as they get closer to the end game. But this is different than times in the past because of the nature of the House of Representatives being so close and the House members that control the House of Representatives being a minority within the majority being so hard over. And you've got the president, who appears to be pretty hard over, which doesn't make much sense because traditionally he was willing to reach agreements, and certainly Obama did. So I'd like to think we're going to reach an agreement. We should reach an agreement. There's no reason not to reach an agreement. It's a pretty simple step. We spent the money. We should pay for it. Probably should institute caps. That would be a good idea, because caps are the only thing that's disciplined spending in the last few years. But is it going to be part of this package? I don't know.
You mean caps on what we're allowed to spend in social spending?
Yeah, over the last 20 years, the only thing that has disciplined the financial side of the appropriations process has been having caps, which basically set the upper limits on which you can spend money. And it's been very effective, very, very effective. They don't exist today. And that's what Speaker McCarthy has asked for, his caps. It's a very reasonable request, in my opinion. But I'm not sure the politics of it are going to allow it to happen.
Senator Heitkamp, do you think that these caps are reasonable and what we've seen in the past?
You know, let's start out with, and I know the governor hates it when I go back to the previous president. We had 3 debt limits that were passed unencumbered, just straight up. And that was because they didn't want to confront this challenge of debt and deficit. So now we're in a situation where we have to address this problem. And Speaker McCarthy has a caucus that is very interested in doing this. What I would suggest is that he wants to initiate a debate. How about he passes a bill that raises the debt limit, sets those caps, and sends it across? The other reason why the caps, which really was something called sequestration, which did in fact impose some budget discipline, those caps were eliminated because they kept getting breached. Because the Republicans, there was a deal that you couldn't raise defense spending without raising other discretionary domestic spending. And so as everybody wanted to raise defense spending, domestic spending was raised. And so, yes, the caps helped curtail it, but we still saw, I think, excessive deficit spending during that sequestration period.